All right, y'all. So we are here the last day of ABFF, and we literally just had an impromptu interview with the cast of Bel-Air. It's their final and last season, y'all.
Yes, and guess what, yo? Every single one of them was sweating her drip.
Okay, he helped me pick out this outfit. But you know what? Listen, Hillary and Ashley, they weren't going to be here today, so I was trying to channel my inner Hillary and my inner Ashley.
And let me show you. See, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but they did compliment my drip, and Ollie was like, "Girl, what did you?" He's like, "I'm about to take your blazer." I was like, "Okay, you can have it." No, I didn't really say that, but he really did like my blazer.
Yeah, he did.
So when they walked in the room, they were so hyped and so energetic. Like they brought the energy in this room today. I got you. I understand. Okay. All right, y'all. So we're at the 29th ABFF in Miami Beach, and I'm here with Adrian Holmes, who plays Uncle Phil on Bel-Air. How's it going?
It's great. I'm just so happy to be here.
Yeah, your second time here, right?
It's my second time here. Yeah, I was here in 2022.
Yes. It is Men's Health Month, or Men's Mental Health Month. So what do you think Bel-Air teaches us about generational expectations placed on Black men and how those expectations impact their mental health?
Well, I think that there's an expectation for us to be not vulnerable, to be strong, to be these pillars that don't really they don't give us the space to really express ourselves and cry and to just be vulnerable. And we have to realize that there's so much strength in vulnerability, and there's so much power in vulnerability. And I think that what our show does very well is we show that that's not something to shy away from, to embrace that, and to just create a safe space for your fellow brothers and sisters to just share and be transparent. And we have a scene in our show called Radical Honesty, where we sit and we just allow each other to just, without judgment, just tell our truths. So I think that the next generation needs to just understand that it's okay to cry, it's okay to feel. Don't block those emotions out, and that will just make you even stronger.
So you played Carlton's father.
Yes.
And Carlton's character was super vulnerable with anxiety and taking certain substances to help calm him and help him escape a little bit. As far as parenting, it's also Father's Day month as well.
Oh, my TV dad.
TV dad, yes. Yeah. So as far as parenting, what kind of impact have you heard from young Black boys going through the same thing?
Well, you know what? People will come up to me and say, what you guys do on the show, you remind me, I see my dad in you, or you help me to understand myself better, through a character in the show. And that right there tells me that we're not just entertaining, we're guiding. We're also, people are watching us how we lead, how we love. So we have such a responsibility in that way, and I'm so honored to be a part of a narrative that puts us in that position, because unfortunately that hasn't really been welcomed on a lot of screens. So I think that just when people say, you've helped me to get through something, or with my relationships with my children, it's a blessing. It's the best compliment.
It's a great icebreaker. If you watch Bel-Air with your teenage kids or even your younger kids, it's a great icebreaker to start that conversation. It really is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. We'll do it for you.
Of course, yeah. Ease that conversation in.
Sit down and watch this. I'll be right back.
Right.
Yeah.
So it is the final season. How does it feel?
I'm still in denial a little bit, Like, we're such a tight unit, and to think that we're not going to be coming back together again, just really, but you know what? They say count the roses, not the thorns. I am so grateful that we've been given a fourth season, because in this current climate we're in, there's not a lot of people that are working, and so I'm just I have so much gratitude that we get to land the plane the way we want to do it. We get to go out with a bang. You're going to love it. It's incredible. Our writers, our showrunners right there, Carla Waddles and her team are phenomenal. Every time I read the script, I'm just like, wow.
Okay.
So I honestly think this is our best season yet. I'm going to go out and say that. And that's saying a lot, because we had some great seasons. But I'm just overjoyed that we get to We get to do this the way we want to do it. You know, we get to go out the way we want to go out, and
exactly.
You know, we're not going to fumble the ball.
All right. Well, you know what? Thank you so much for telling that Black story, telling our story, the opulence story. Perfect. Thank you so much. It's great to meet you again. I'm stealing this whole fit from you.
I have a mic on me still.
All right. So, hi, Ollie. I am Nikki with MIA Magazine. You were not here 3 years ago.
I was not. This is, in fact, my first ABFF. This is also my first time in Miami.
Okay.
So I'm having the time of my life.
Well, you understood the assignment with the drip.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like I try to be on theme. I love clothes, so you know what can
Definitely. And we're celebrating Black opulence as well. I see with the pearls. All right, I got you.
See, we're here.
We're here. I got you. So, in what ways has being a part of Bel-Air reshaped your own understanding of class, privilege, and race, and also, how can this impact the mental health of young Black men, especially in an opulent household?
Man, that question eats. I think one of the main personal takeaways for me, and something I hope fans take away from the show, is that Black people aren't a monolith. And I think that there is this idea that, you know, all Black people are one kind of people. But there's so many different backgrounds, shades, colors, etc. And so I think I've really, really fallen in love with who we are as a community and all the different facets that make us up and where we come from.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's so true what you say, but on the screen, they don't really depict that of us being Black opulence. So do you think that narrative is changing on the screen?
I'm a huge believer in entertainment reflects the culture, and the culture reflects what people think is possible. And showing families like this in a light like this, I do think it adds to the conversation, and it shows young Black kids what's possible and what you can achieve. But also I think what's beautiful about the nuance of our show is it's also a cautionary tale, right? It is, here's what you can achieve, but also here are the pitfalls you can fall into, you know, on the way to that. And I think Carlton specifically speaks to that.
Yeah. Speaking of Carlton, he is so vulnerable with his journey with mental health. He's suffered from anxiety, and he's used certain substances to help cope, in a sense. We are celebrating or bringing more awareness to mental health for men. So for Black men, for Black young boys, what have been the response to your character?
I'll never forget, after season 2, there's this thing in Los Angeles called Black Market Flea, and it's a flea market with predominantly Black-owned businesses. And this family came up to me, and you know, they were very excited. They took pictures, and there was one little boy. I'm bad at knowing how old kids are, so I was like, he could have been 5, could have been 10, I don't know. But he was, you know, younger, and he was kind of shy in the back. And I'm like, yo, dude, like, you want to take a picture? And he looks at me, and he says, "You are the first Black boy I've ever seen cry on television." And, you know, I think that story encapsulates what this show is, right? It's showing young Black boys that it's important to experience the entire breadth and width of your emotions. That will set you free.
Awesome. Left an impression. Awesome. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you so much. Beautiful interview. Great
Thank
questions.
you. I appreciate it. I took my time. You know, I want it to be meaningful. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. All right.
I love this fit.
Well, Hillary's not here, so I was trying to channel my inner Hillary.
Yes, I love it.
You know, maybe some Ashley too, you know, with the plaid.
It's totally Ashley too.
Awesome. All right, y'all. So I'm here with Cassandra Freeman. She plays Aunt Viv on Bel-Air. How's it going?
It's fantastic. Who's not? You can't help but be happy when you're in Miami and ABFF. Okay, that's love on love on love.
And it's not raining outside, so it's shiny and sunny outside, y'all. Period.
Right, yes.
Yeah. How has playing a woman of power and grace with a wealthy Black household challenged the usual narratives we see about Black motherhood or womanhood?
You know, I like to think that Aunt Viv is not necessarily powerful. You see a woman becoming. If you watch the first the first season, the second, third, and who she started off as like a blueprint of like a Michelle Obama, who then leaves the political eye, gets back in touch with her artistry, that then gets back in touch with her voice, that then gets back in touch with her sexuality, that then gets back in touch with like the next phase of her life, which is the fourth season. So it's a woman of power, but it shows you that to be powerful is actually to be vulnerable, to keep growing, to have a growth mindset. That is what Aunt Viv is.
She has evolved. I've seen all seasons and I've seen the transformation, and right on.
Yeah. Like who she is in the third season is not, it don't even look like
that third season was a little spicy. All right. So what do you think Bel-Air gets right about the tension between being black and successful in traditionally white spaces?
Well, I think the thing they get right is that, it's so funny. I think unless you're black, I think white people think we go home at night and we're like, oh, I woke up and I'm black again today. Okay. It's not like that. It's not like that whether you have a lot of money or a little bit of money. Like, it's really still an existential question about, am I of purpose? Do I have vision? What will be my legacy? How do I help my family? It's not about the blackness of the family. And even the wealth part of it, even though their kids go to these white schools, their house is filled with black art, with, dignitaries, great people. And that's the kind of household I grew up in. I didn't know I was poor until, I went to someone else's house. Because my house was so full of riches. And I feel that way about the Will Smith character. Him leaving Philly to come to Bel-Air, the only thing that was different is like the aspiration got so much bigger. And so I think that's like the biggest difference between those two worlds, is that when you have this much wealth, like the goal setting is like so much bigger because it's so much in reach,
Of course, yeah. And I would say too, you don't really see a lot of depiction of black opulence on TV. And Bel-Air gave us that. It gave us that escape. Like, we live vicariously through Bel-Air with black opulence, It's that representation. So it's the final season.
Yes.
How do you feel?
I feel so listen, it is such a beautiful fourth season. It's, I love leaving a party on a high note. It is it is the highest note. I feel like it's so funny. In 4 seasons, we've told so many stories from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is probably 30 minutes long, but it's not. It's more like 20-something minutes when you take out all the commercials. And we've had 4 seasons. That's a lot of hours of content. So I feel like we've actually done a great job telling all the stories. And when you see where it ends this season,
all right.
Yeah, it's perfection.
All right. So when you leave the screen, your hairstylist, your drip, we're going to miss your drip, your different hairstyles. How are you going to get that back?
Yeah, it's not going to stop. First of all, anybody who follows me on my Instagram knows I'm constantly playing with my hair.
Yes.
I have people who follow me on my Instagram just to see me do my hair and makeup, because it is such, I have a 6-year-old. So I'm always like, can I do this in 15 minutes? How fast can I do this? So there will be more of that. And actually I have a partnership coming up too that will spotlight, fashion and hair even more.
I love that. Yeah, just the black hairstyles, your Afrocentric.
Real quick, because this humidity here, she went.
Oh no, not in Miami Beach, no.
No. So someone had to come through today and was like, we're gonna match your hair and make it a little bit Yes. Listen, I think that's why black women, we all know. I feel like we're in this great sorority, and it's like, girl, how did you do your hair today? What was the trick? You know what I'm saying? So I think it's very fun. So no, there's still more to come in that.
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you. I'll see you on the panel talk. Awesome. Thank you. You as well. All right, y'all. So I'm here with Carla Banks Waddles, and your last name is Banks. And you're the showrunner for Bel-Air. So is that no coincidence or no pun?
Purely coincidence, but I also think it was fate. It was probably meant to be that I'm a part of the Banks family.
Yes, definitely. So what does black opulence mean to you beyond luxury, and how is that layered into the characters' journeys?
I would say it means more than just wealth. It means more than just, and the message that we try to get across is that it's not about just the cars and the clothes and the money and the beauty. It really is just about freedom and what privilege gives you, the freedom that it gives you, especially for the young characters on our show. I think the privilege to dream and be who you want to be beyond your circumstances. And I think that's really what it's about. It's just the freedom, not so much about the material things.
Material things, yeah. And it's such a great representation of the black family, It's also Men's Mental Health Month. Yeah. And Carlton, he's definitely been vulnerable with his anxiety and drug addiction and so forth. What kind of impacts do you think this has had on young black men?
I think, from what I hear, and I know from what Ollie has heard, that the impact of mental health, just depicting it on television, and what a young black boy in particular is going through, being vulnerable, talking to people about your experience, not feeling so isolated, knowing that you're not the only one, being able to talk to your family about it, being able to talk to your friends about it, and just sort of normalizing what mental health means for all of us, I think is important.
And it was so great to see that on the screen, because I think it was like a hidden subject in the past, but now it's okay to talk about it. So it is the final season of Bel-Air. Like, how does it feel? How do you feel?
I mean, we always probably overuse the term bittersweet, because it really does feel like, oh, this journey is coming to an end for us. But knowing that it is the final season, we really do get to sort of tell the stories we want to tell, wrap it out how we want to wrap it out, and leave no stories creatively left unturned. So
Yes.
it's a blessing to do that. To
All right.
come this far.
Well, thank you so much, Carla. Nice to meet you, and we'll see you on the panel talk. Thank you.
See you too.
Bye. Yeah, it was cool.
It was. And now what we're about to do is go and watch their panel talk discussion.
Yes, about
So,
black opulence.
Black opulence.
Yes. All right.
So, peace to
Peace out.
coconut
Yeah.
heads.